I would die. I would literally die.
Then you know this.
I would literally die because I've gotten close to that place before where it's like where I completely didn't want nothing to do with music, entertaining, dancing, hosting, like nothing at all. Like I came to that place and I was dead.
We call ourselves CiiiTY, but we global, and everybody that has a voice is allowed to be vocal.
I was originally born and raised in Bronx, New York, and then I moved here as a teeny bopper. Yeah.
You give me New York vibes.
I do.
I'm not even from New York.
That's funny because every time I go back to New York, they be like, "Where you from?"
Word.
They don't know where I'm from. So I think that I'm a worldly woman. Yes. Okay. Global. I try.
So when did you move from New York to Florida?
I was like 11. So everybody says I'm Floridian now because I've been here for over 10 years. But to be honest with you, it's kind of hard. Once you're kind of there for your early years, you kind of just get the mentality stuck in your brain. And then I was also going back and forth a lot. So
yeah. So you moved down here in a critical part of your development.
I'd say so.
As a person.
I'd say so. Yeah, because my confidence, like I didn't really start building my confidence till I was like here already. So I feel like I got kind of best of both worlds, you know, because a lot of people from New York don't really leave New York. A lot of people from Florida don't really leave Florida until like later on in life. But thank goodness I've traveled.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you came here 11. That means you went through middle school, high school here, and stuff like that.
Gators.
Whoa.
Palm Beach Gardens. Palm Beach Gardens High School.
It's a lot of Gators. It's a lot of Gators in Florida, like in terms of like teams and schools and stuff like that. So you got to specify. I thought you was a Gators fan, like football.
No. I don't even understand football half the time. I don't have a favorite football team. Okay. Like outside of the NFL, it's like New York. Anything in New York, anything up there, like yeah, but. Outside of that, I have no idea what's going on with anybody or anything.
Okay, so your body's in Florida, but your heart's in New York.
Amen.
And everything else.
Amen.
All right, understood. Okay, so when in this journey for you did music become a thing?
Okay, so
because I know you danced.
Yes, I still dance, honey. Don't say used to. She still got it. Don't play with me.
Still you dance.
No, music. I've been doing music since I don't even know, to be honest with you. I feel like between singing and dancing, I don't know which one came first. I kind of just did it. I feel like all little girls sing and dance, but like I've been writing music, like writing songs since I was 9.
Okay.
So like taking music seriously since I was 9. But I didn't start pursuing it professionally until I was like 15.
Okay.
Right? And then, yeah, there was some hiccups along the way, but professionally, like I started like, yeah, I want vocal lessons. I want to invest in music at 15. That's when that started. And then I was in a singing group when I was 16. So I'd say it started when I was like at least like 3 or 4 years old. That's the earliest I can remember like.
So it wasn't a hard transition for you. It was very natural.
Very natural. I truly believe that I was put on here to do this.
What do you think is the hardest part about distinguishing yourself as a professional musician, being that music is something that is so loosely practiced, you know, like it's pretty much a hobby for a lot of people, especially if you're from Palm Beach. Hey, look, if you're young, you do music. So what's the hardest part about distinguishing yourself?
I think that's a really good question. The hardest part about distinguishing myself as a professional. Well, okay, so here's the first thing. Professional usually means that you're being paid.
Okay.
That's the first thing. I've been paid to perform my music originally without doing any covers or anything like that. So I feel like what distinguishes the hardest part is the branding. Like because so many people can look professional and still be doing it as a hobby. Like anybody can go get a photographer, a videographer, especially if you got the money, especially if you got somebody behind you or something like that. It's easy to look professional nowadays. It's not hard. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's probably the hardest part, like really connecting who you are with your brand and making sure that people understand like you do this for real, not like, oh, it's just a fly-by-night thing, it's fun, which ain't nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having it as a hobby, but it can be frustrating. So that's the hardest thing about it, I think, the frustration that comes along with not being able to like shake people and make them see like, take me seriously. You know what I'm saying? Like, know that when I'm putting something out, honey, I'm not putting it out just to pacify y'all. I'm really putting it out because this is what I plan to do for the rest of my life, you know? Yeah.
What's the first step, do you think? What's the first step you took and you know, putting that in people's faces and being like, yeah, I'm here to stay?
Well, at first I thought the first step was doing a photo shoot and putting it on social media. And that was not correct. But now, in hindsight, I think the first step would be just write and like consistently create before you even put anything out there. Like really develop yourself and get to know what kind of artist you want to be, because there's people that sing and entertain at weddings and bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs and all that kind of stuff, and that's doing it professionally. That's doing music professionally. You're a professional singer, but then being an artist is totally different.
Exactly. Because
now you have to invest your DNA sonically into what you're doing. You know, at least for me, that's what it is.
Yeah, keyword being identity.
Yeah.
So for you, what do you think, what is your identity as a musician?
I'm radical, baby. No. No, for real, like I just like to be looked at as just a free individual. You know, like a free individual.
You give me Erykah Badu vibes.
Do I? That's funny, because even when I had a mohawk, people would say that, and I did not understand it for the life of me, because first of all, my music sounds nothing like Erykah. Erykah Badu is one of my biggest inspirations, though. I think
it's your aura.
Yeah, that could be what it is. You know what I'm saying? I try to be out here spreading light and joy and peace.
There you go.
No, but yeah. What was the question again? You just threw me
your
out.
Identity. Your musical identity.
Yes, identity-wise, it's just being free and being an empowered individual. I think that's important, because the closer you get to understanding the core of who you are, the easier it is to be free with yourself, and then in turn be free with others. Meaning, like, you give love freely, which means it comes back to you the same, you know? And even if it's not returned to you with the same capacity, it's like you understand and you're more willing to understand, you know? It's all relative, but just spreading that joy, spreading that positive energy, positive vibes. I call myself the conductress of vibes.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? The energy.
Okay. I mean, you come into a room and you control the
spark that man.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
There you go. I see the Africa around your neck.
That's the heart.
There you go.
I'm sorry. That's the heart.
You know,
yes.
You're not supposed to ask a woman how old they are.
You can ask me. I ain't got no shame.
I'm gonna ask you.
Ask the question.
How old are you?
I am 27 years young. Yes, I am.
27 years. I was gonna say, you really sound very mature.
Thank you.
Very, very mature.
Thank you. But people be telling me that I look younger or whatever, and that's true too.
I would say you are 22, 23 years old.
Thank you. I like that. Keep that.
Yeah.
We're gonna say that I'm
22, 23 years old.
Yes, 22.
And the reason I think, what is it? You got a single out. It's your latest single.
Dangerous?
Run For Me. Is that
Run
your latest?
For Me is not the latest. That came out in like 2017, John.
For real?
Yes.
Okay, so you don't post on did you put music up on what is it? Spotify like
yes,
that?
I did. Run For Me was my first track. It was standing there by itself.
If you go on Spotify, Word For Me says latest single.
It shouldn't, because now, no, it doesn't say that now. Maybe a couple days ago it did. But as of last night, the EP, Dangerous.
Dangerous, the EP, yeah.
Dangerous is out now, honey.
Okay, I lied.
You ain't lied. You just wasn't aware.
I lied. No. It's your most popular, maybe.
Well, now.
Popular.
It could be now because it was the only one that was there.
Right.
But it ain't really popular if nobody knew it was there. I mean, people knew it was there, but I don't know. People don't be adding me on these playlists.
When you dropped Dangerous, is this 2020?
Yeah, Dangerous. Technically, I dropped it, but it wasn't like on all platforms. It was just on SoundCloud, just for the supporters to listen to. and it has been remastered to go on the actual project. So that was probably put out, I want to say like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. Yeah, definitely like 2 weeks ago.
It's a 7-song EP. Are those a collection of songs? Some of them songs you've made before?
No, they're all brand new. I mean, that's not true. The 4 songs have been out already. Okay. So there was The Way Love Goes. That was the first one I put out last year. Then it was All Night. That one has a video. That's the one that everybody's like, oh, the video at the fair. Yeah, yes, child. $2 Tuesday. Shout out to South Florida Fair for letting us bring in my equipment. And then there was What I Feel Like. That one's a little more dancehall. And then after that is Dangerous. So people have heard at least 3 of the songs.
Okay.
And, you know, with the algorithm and everything, you may have missed 1 or 2. But for the most part, all of the songs have been heard because I performed at least 3 of them. But there's 3 new songs that have never been heard on it. Some people, all 7 gonna be brand new to some people. So
yeah. Okay, and you got new music on the way as well. What comes out Friday? Something coming out Friday?
No, yesterday something came out.
What came out yesterday?
Dangerous, the EP came out.
Okay, I'm all okay.
So Dangerous the single, right? And then there's Dangerous the EP.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm tracking the EP.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm really not promoting Dangerous as a single. It's really just, okay, I put this out on the eve, like, so to speak, of the EP because it was the same name. Okay. So I was like, okay, let me let them hear this because this gonna let y'all know what the whole EP is gonna consist of. Like, this is the energy that I'm bringing, okay? And then when they hear the EP, it's like, oh, okay. Yeah. I see what's going on.
Because I heard about the EP coming out. I haven't heard it yet. Clearly,
you haven't heard it yet. I haven't heard
the Dangerous EP.
Because it's so fresh. Imagine if we did the interview yesterday.
Yeah, yeah.
It really would have been fresh. Like, okay.
Yeah, and I'm gonna listen to it. But what I want to ask is it more attitude when the EP name being Dangerous? Is it an attitude thing? Yeah. Or is it something deeper?
No, it's pretty much an attitude vibe. Because when I say Dangerous, there's a song that Michael Jackson has called Dangerous. Yeah. He has an album called Dangerous. And I didn't even put all of this together until I realized, oh crap, he has an album called Dangerous and a song called Dangerous. Yeah. He performed it. It's one of his most popular performances of the VMAs. Okay. And in the beginning of the song Dangerous, he says, the way she walks into the room, her hair, her lines, there was something different about this girl. Boom, choo. The girl was bad. The girl was dangerous. Yeah. So whenever I hear that, I know that he's talking about me. You know what I'm saying? Oh, wow. I was like, yeah, you know, he's talking about me or whatever. And then on top of that, when I made the song, I wasn't thinking about that at all. Okay. But in hindsight, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I've always loved that song and loved that intro. And the fact that I'm doing a song called Dangerous, it was because I was in a very selfish place in my life where if you was dealing with me as a friend, as a potential suitor, then
a suitor.
That's all my people out there who's studied mythology. Yes. Yeah. If you was doing anything like that, then it was like straight up out the gate, I'm like, what you trying to do? Because this is what I'm not going to do, right? Okay. And it's kind of like that demeanor, it just lets people know, like, you're not with the bullshit. Like, you're not with the games. You're out here trying to do what you need to do, and that's that. And on top of that, it's like this. I know that I've been told that I'm a trip, I'm something else, and all this different stuff, but the only reason is because I'm honest. Right. And I'm very black and white, and I'm true to this. I'm not new to this, honey. So because of that, people be like, dang, like, chill. Like, no. No. Yeah. You're gonna get this out the gate, because if you can't deal with this, then you're definitely not gonna be here longer than a few days. You understand what I'm saying? And that's that on that, period.
That's experience.
On menstrual.
On menstrual. On menstrual. No cycle. All right.
No cycle.
All right. So.
Sorry. They lighten up on my live. That's why it's so funny.
So they say you a trip and all that. How's your relationship like nowadays? And how has your experiences,
relationship?
Yeah. How's your suitors? Like, I don't even know how to.
It's so funny. Okay, so right now I'm single, but I'm not available. You know what I mean?
She's lying.
I'm single, but I'm not available. I don't have a boyfriend. If I had a boyfriend, I would flaunt it, honey. I'd be like, yes, my man, love me. My man love me.
Why aren't you?
You know, it's really fresh. You know, quarantine has been happening. It's a little difficult to date while in quarantine.
Okay.
It hasn't been that difficult for me, but before that, it was kind of like some of the people I would be talking to. It's like I'm just talking to you because I'm bored, not really because I'm trying to be anything. And I know that that's a toxic trait of mine, that I get bored kind of easily. I know this. Charge it to being a Libra. But I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta ask homeboy.
Is it that you get bored easily, or the people you talk to aren't entertaining enough?
I think it's the second one.
Okay.
Because here's the other thing. Because there's some things where it's like I might be the type of person that if I approach you, the last couple of people that I've dealt with, I didn't approach them. They approached me. Let
me take that back though. I feel like entertainment is the wrong word.
No, it's the right word.
Because if you're being entertained, it's limited. You can only entertain for so long. You gotta find somebody interesting. Is it that people aren't? What do you prefer, entertainment or being interesting?
I ain't gonna lie. Let me put it like this, okay? For the last 2 years, right? Because I had a boyfriend last year or whatever. That was short lived or whatever. Cool. We still cool to this day. You know what I'm saying? But we was both entrepreneurs, right? So when you an entrepreneur, you know what I'm saying? You got to know when to say when. You got to know when you're going in different directions. When you're helping each other out. We was helping each other out, and then we needed to go in different directions.
Okay.
Partially because the kid was quitting her day job and was like, all right, these trips back and forth ain't finna work no more. Like going all the way to Miami, like I'm gonna have to dumb it down. You know what I'm saying? Bring it back.
Yeah.
Cause that gas adds up.
Right.
Okay. That's one. The other thing was, it's kind of like this. If I'm very attracted to ambition, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're not really doing anything, you could be cute and all, but that ain't gonna keep me interested for long. Right. Yeah, it's definitely not. And then on top of that, I'm grown, so I'm not trying to be out here lollygagging and playing around like I ain't got time. You know what I'm saying? Time is ticking. My grandma asking me questions. Word. Okay,
when Granny start asking questions.
When grandma start asking questions, okay, it's a problem. It's like, grandma, hold on, okay, wait a minute.
Auditions are just
times have changed, okay. Right. At my mama's age, she was married and had her first child. Right. I'm nowhere near that right now, okay. So that's that side of things, and I've never been asked relationship questions before like that. So just forgive me, okay, because I'm trying to get things together in my mind. And not only that, a lot of people that I be wanting don't be wanting me back.
Right.
They don't be wanting me back in the way that I want them. You know what I'm saying? Okay. They be wanting other stuff, and I'm like, no,
that's cool. You being
that's very relatable, because a lot of people, a lot of girls, I'm telling you, I don't know what it is. Like, we be wanting people that really, it's like, and this is the message for all the girls out there. If you don't have him liking you more, leave it alone, okay? Because it means that you're always going to be the one trying to get it together, and you don't want that, okay?
Hey.
You're always going to be the one.
That's great advice. Okay, I'm going to say this. I feel like your scope has widened. You know, everybody knows you was on stage with Beyonce.
Oh, Lord, yeah.
You met Jay-Z, and you've obviously, I feel like if you're a Beyonce fan, then her the way she her marriage and that power couple thing.
You see me? Yes.
It's exactly.
We need a power couple.
So you being on that stage with Beyonce, and you being an aspiring artist, and you know, I don't know, you're into fashion. I'm sure there's a lot of
I'm stylish. I'm a style enthusiast, but I ain't really into fashion.
I'm sure you want to do a lot of things. You want to do it big.
You know that.
Has all those experiences and affected what you want from a man? Do you have to hold him to a higher standard, or you just want love and affection?
No, you know, it's not that I just want love. Definitely don't want love and affection only, because that is not gonna pay the bills, sweetheart. Right. I think to some degree, yes, but you ain't got to want to do what I'm doing. You need to just have your own thing going on. Like, right. You need to be self-sufficient whether I'm there or not. Like, because I need to be self-sufficient whether you're there or not. And then when we come together, it's like, okay, you know, it helps though when you are doing something that can complement. That's always a great thing. Like, of course, like I would be gravitated towards like I love people who are artists. Like I love talking to an artist because I feel like artists relate. Even if you're not an active artist, but you understand music, you understand art, you respect art. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to. You cannot date me and not understand or respect art. Cannot. That's like a no. Like it's not gonna work because there's gonna be a lot of mood changes. There's gonna be a lot of frustration. There's gonna be a lot of stuff going on that you're not gonna be able to help me with. Like. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to be able to. You're just not.
Okay. What's your advice on personal growth and as a woman bettering yourself being single? Because obviously a relationship is not everything. So what are the steps you're taking as a single woman?
You know, I wish I had a little fake cigarette because I don't smoke. But if I had a fake cigarette, I'd be talking like this. You know, I think just really do the work.
Yeah.
It's important to do the work. Self-care is very important. Self-work is very important because at the end of the day, night, week, month, year, you always going to have to look back in the mirror and answer that person.
Exactly.
And that's the bottom line. Regardless of your family, your friends, anything, like in my darkest moments, it's always had to be internal, that like pulling myself up from the bootstraps and like getting myself, no matter what anybody was saying to me, I still had to have it up here. You know what I'm saying? Like I still had to be the one to be like, all right, okay, shake it off. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to be that person for yourself. You have to really work on your past trauma, your childhood. Yeah. That's a big one. Yeah. Because a lot of people try to just move through life and think that that's not, like anything that you haven't dealt with is going to keep on coming back.
Exactly. Your deepest, darkest trials and tribulations and stuff like that. Or you know, the things that you've left unconquered can really be affecting your personal life, your emotional life,
absolutely,
and stuff like that. So that's a good psychology part of it that you brought up.
gotta do the work.
Exactly.
You gotta do the work, and you gotta be forgiving of others because we're all reflections of each other. And if you're not willing to forgive somebody else when you've been forgiven, it's like you're doing yourself a disservice because now you're limiting yourself. Yeah. And you're guarding yourself.
What's the most personal song you have on your EP that kind of like that speaks on that, some of the topics that we've discussed?
Personal, I'd say that's a good question. It's a toss up between "Say You Love Me" and it's a toss up between "Say You Love Me" and "The Way Love Goes." The Way Love Goes was the first song that I wrote for the EP.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was talking to somebody, but it ain't work out. We wanted different things in life.
Man, you tough. You tough. Oh no, you tough.
What you mean?
I don't know. I feel like you tough, man.
You know, somebody called me a tough cookie the other day.
You might be.
Someone texted me. He was like, "What you doing?" I'm like, "Nothing." He was like, "Okay, tough cookie." I'm like,
I'm hearing a lot of, it ain't work.
I'm triggered.
Are you
triggered?
They running away like that?
I'm not running. No,
they running away.
No,
from you.
I'm not running away. What happens is this, right? When there's so there's steps, right? If see, the whole time I was dating that person, I told him we're not dating.
Oh, see, there you go.
I said we're not dating, and the reason why was because at the time I was very depressed. And I did not want to be dealing with nobody else. I didn't want to have to worry about nobody's feelings but my own. I didn't want to be responsible for nobody else. I didn't want to be obligated to nobody. I didn't want nobody to be obligated to me. Like, I just didn't want the stuff that comes with that. I was like 25. Yeah, I was 25. I was not trying to. I just wasn't with it. And the thing is, it was like I was trying to move out like the state. Yeah. And it was like I didn't want to be attached and get attached to nobody knowing that I'm leaving. You know what I'm saying? Like I just didn't want that stress. That's who my grandma was telling me, like, maybe you should think about settling down and maybe you would have a child. I'm like, whoa, ma'am.
Very old school.
Relax. She ain't even thinking about me getting married. Like, hold on. Ma'am.
Oh man. All right. So what's next for you post this epidemic, and what have you got lined up? I'm sure you're a very thorough person in the sense that you are strategically planning your future. So
what's interesting? I'm really not even thinking that far ahead. I was thinking that far ahead before the pandemic, but that changed because I realized me being so much of a perfectionist. See, here's the thing. I'm a perfectionist Libra, but I'm Virgo rising. And Virgos are very much perfectionists. I'm talking about Beyonce, Michael Jackson. Like, these people are definitely very perfectionist, very meticulous. I'm very meticulous.
Okay.
Very to the point where I'll even self-sabotage myself. Being, So, I think it's really just taking it, like having a vision. Obviously, you have to have a vision. I have a vision. However, taking it one step at a time and not biting off more than I can chew.
Right.
My focus right now is just to continue creating, because this EP could have been out, right? But there's always administrative and professional hiccups that happen after you create the art. That's why it's important to create and then deal with stuff, or have this stuff panned out before you create, because then it alleviates a lot of that extra frustration and stress you might deal with. Right. So for me, I just need to get back in the studio. I need to write, but then also marketing the project, really market it, give it a real fair chance, because I don't want it to be one of those fly-by-night releases. Yeah. Especially with all the music that's coming out. There's a lot of great music coming out right now, especially from women. Big up all the women! Yeah. All the vaginas!
It's like they say, hit songs aren't made, they're promoted, and that's a huge. This is true. That's the 90% of the work for sure.
This is true,
and I think that's something artists generally figure out much later on in their career.
Unfortunately,
so, yeah,
because you done put all this money into creating a song, putting out the video, but you ain't putting half of that money into the marketing. Yeah. I think whatever you spend on marketing, you should be spending on. Anything you spend on creating it, you need to spend on marketing it. It needs to match or be above. Right. And I haven't been able to do that realistically. It's
not an easy thing.
Yeah, it's not easy, especially if you're doing it by yourself. You see, I'm here by myself. Exactly. With me, where my best friend at? He could go.
Yeah, you definitely do need a team too. I'm gonna leave you with this last question for you. What has kept you going with the music thing? Especially, things happen in life, things happen in music. So what has kept you going? What's your biggest motivation?
My biggest motivation, that changes. It changes sometimes, which I'm working on that, because I don't want it to be changing all the time. But I think right now my biggest motivation is just the fact that there's so many people who haven't given up on me. I can tell you, even up to 2-3 weeks ago, I was contemplating quitting and not even doing music in this capacity where I'm in the front, just being a writer.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that. I'm like, do I really want to do this? But then you have to have people around you that will remind you who you are when you forget who you are. And I think that's probably been my biggest motivating factor. Just having people who genuinely believe in me more than I believe in myself. Yeah. And then also just knowing that I have literally been in a place before where I've begged God to allow me to do something else with my talent. Because I have a lot of talents that have nothing to do with music. But I've had to be in places where I'm talking to my grandmother and Grandma, what else could I do? If I wasn't in entertainment at all, what do you see me doing? And she's like, Jordan, you can do anything you want to do. And I'm like, damn it, you're right. Yeah.
Sometimes
and then
that's the hard part.
That's the hard part.
You could do so many things.
You could do so many things, but it's only so many things that God really places on your spirit and on your heart to do. There's a lot of things I could do for money. Right. Money is not a motivator. Unfortunately, I wish money was a motivator for me, because I'd be doing something totally different right now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's I was reminded by one of my producer friends the other day, I see the way you light up when a beat is played and you start mumbling lyrics to whatever. You speak the language. You have the frequency. You can't deny that. Yeah. I can't deny that. And that's why I'm not going to let you quit. And when he said that, I was like, dang, damn it! Damn! And deep down in my heart, I knew that he was right. And I knew that I didn't want to do anything else. I don't want to do anything else. quitting is always the easy way out. Like your purpose, your destiny is never easy.
Right.
If it's easy, if it's small, it's not really for you. So that's the thing. It's like, damn, like I wish I could be normal and not want to be an artist, you know?
When you spiritually feel left worse off without music,
I would die. I would literally die.
Then you know it's what
I would literally die, because I've gotten close to that place before where it's like where I completely didn't want nothing to do with music, entertaining, dancing, hosting, like nothing at all. Like I came to that place and I was dead. Like basically dead. You might as well have made me dead, because I was miserable. And I knew that God was making me miserable. Because God is like, no, bring yourself. Bring yourself on. Come on. Because I done told you already what's going to happen. Come on, let's go. So it's like, all right, like you just have to surrender. You know, you really just have to surrender. And that's where my spirituality has to come in play. And that's why if you do music, you better have a spiritual relationship with God. You better. Because there's going to be so many things that come up against you, especially if you're a positive person and you're uplifting people. You're definitely, like if you do a music that's telling people to like die, it's going to be hard, but it's not going to be as hard.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because now you're working for a different, entity.
And then it's the industry that you're in the real world.
I mean, the music industry is super dark.
Exactly.
Super dark. So if someone like me coming in, it's like, it's always like, damn, I don't have to do this. Like, I don't have to do music.
Right.
This is what people need to know. I don't have to do music. I can do a lot of other things, okay? I got licenses, okay? But I choose to do it because if I choose to do something else, I would literally be slapping God in the face. It's that deep for me. Like, so when I put out music, I'm not putting it out because I'm trying to appease nobody or nothing like that. It's because, like, I can't do anything else. Like, I can't. Like, I can't. Like, I'll throw up. Yeah. Even just answering that question took so much.
I know. Like, I can see the passion. You know.
Thank you so much.
All right, see, we're gonna leave it off like that. We with Radical Phoenixx. What's the meaning behind your name? That was supposed to be my last question, but I'm curious.
Dang.
That was supposed to be my last question.
I was wondering, because most people ask me that. Chris, you're not about to be. He gonna be calling me during my interview. Now you want to call somebody during their interview because you're not here. Anyway, okay, so Radical Phoenixx. All right, so you want the long version or you want the short version?
I want the truth.
Okay, well, here we go. They're both the truth, but I'm gonna give you the regular size one. Okay, so Phoenixx came before Radical. Okay. Phoenixx was because when I was in like 7th grade, we started doing mythology, like studying mythological literature and everything. So I was just infatuated with the Phoenixx, like doing my own research and being like, oh, that's really dope. It's really cool, like rebirth, woo, mystical, you know. But then I was in a singing group and we had to like name ourselves. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll just be Phoenixx. My hair was a mohawk. It was red at the tips. It was funky. It was edgy. So it was like, okay, it's a no-brainer. Just call me Phoenixx.
You had the bald thing going on.
It was bald on the sides, everything. Okay, so that was Phoenixx. But the reason why Phoenixx really resonated was because by that time I had been through a life-altering illness and like had a brain tumor and like faced death, like my organs were shut down in the hospital, all kinds of crazy stuff was going on, and I could have died. Like, so that really reminded me like that I have the power always to rise, because so many people was praying for me while I was in the hospital, but my mom was like, Jordan, your organs are shutting down. You gonna need to pray for yourself, baby girl. Because everybody can't be going petitioning God for you and you're not petitioning God for yourself. Exactly. You have to believe for yourself. So that was like, that stuck in my mind as far as like being a Phoenixx. Like, I can always rise. No matter what happens to me, I can always rise. I can always rise. I can always rise. Boom. So that's the Phoenixx side.
Okay.
Then the other side is Radical. So Radical came about because there was a lot of people on Twitter, like female artists, that had the name Phoenixx, right? So I was looking for something to kind of set me apart. Like, at this time, I was really trying to find myself as an artist and like thinking that, oh, my name has to be whatever. Yeah, that don't mean nothing nowadays. Like, it really don't mean nothing. But looking back, it's okay, I understand it.
It could be Lil Pump for all we know.
Right. Yeah. So I saw the word radical at church, actually. I was at my aunt's church. It was Resurrection Sunday, which people know is Easter.
Yeah.
But it was Resurrection Sunday, and the church was saying like radical love, radical sacrifice, radical this, radical that, and the word radical just kept playing in my mind. And I'm a researcher. I'm a reference junkie. Like, I love to know why things are called things, why things mean something. So I looked it up, And it said something like unconventional, different than the norm, original. The mathematical definition was like to be at the root of something. And I always felt like, oh, this is the perfect adjective. Like I need an adjective. I was looking for an adjective. Yeah. So radical was like, oh, this is the perfect adjective. It describes me, like as a person. This is me. I'm very different. I'm unique. Like this is what I'm gonna put in front of it. So I changed my Twitter name. And back then, child, if you change your Twitter name, you was gonna change your life. So I changed my Twitter name. And my ex-boyfriend, he was like, oh, that's dope. Like, that's dope. And I really respect his opinion and stuff. So I was like, yeah, I think this is going to be it. So at the time, it was like, okay, Radical Phoenixx. And then when I looked even deeper, I'm like, wow, Radical Phoenixx. It means that I'm the most original, pure version of what a phoenix is. There's a lot of definitions of a phoenix, but this particular idea that I saw on the internet said something like a person or thing that has faced apparent annihilation and gone through calamities. And I was like, wow, this is definitely like me. Yeah. Now it sounds like a superhero, but that's how I felt. Like I felt like doing my music and stuff, like that's the kind of message I wanted to bring about in the beginning. Like it was very like female empowerment, powerful, edgy, fierce, like all of that stuff. I done chilled out a little bit now, but because I'm older or whatever, that's all it is. But it was still, you know, it still resonates with who I am as a person without me actually saying my name. And then if you even were to put my name in it, like Jordan Radical Phoenixx, how it is on Facebook, Jordan means to descend and Phoenixx is to rise from your ashes. So my whole name, think of it like Missy Misdemeanor Elliott is like Jordan Radical Phoenixx. It's like it just flows. It just goes together. Yes. It's kind of like a title. And it also reminds me who I am. Whenever someone says my name, it's like you're reminding yourself. Like your spirit is being reminded this is who you are. Yeah, because your name, the other thing is your name is your nature. Like I learned that biblically, all the names in the Bible mean something. So like even when you look at Sarai, before she became Sarah, she had to be Sarai. And God then changed her name to Sarah because she was ready to be a wife, ready to be a mother, whatever. So it's like, I looked at it like that. Like, my name has to represent who I am, like my nature. And I'm definitely very radical, honey. I'm wild. Wild child at heart. Yes.
We are CiiiTY.